Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Regional Admissions Counselors of California Virtual College Fair. We have an awesome lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening. But before I turn it over to them, I have a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, this is a webinar. That means your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening. Secondly, this is being recorded. And so the recording of this playback will be available at strivescan.com/RACC, RACC, within 1 week. Third, there are going to be more sessions of these within about 2 weeks. So you can go to that same website and sign up for more sessions. Lastly, we know that you're going to have some questions, and our panelists want to make sure that you get all your questions answered tonight. So at any point, you can put your question in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, type out your question, but also note the college or institution that you're directing your question to so that they can answer appropriately. Lastly, this is a 6x6 program, which means institutions only have 6 short minutes to share great information with you. So we hope that it's just enough that it allows you to research some more and find out some more about institutions. This is a really fun way to learn about many schools at once. And so with that, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists. So first up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Syracuse University. Camille, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Let me just get my slideshow going here. All righty. So I am Camille Kreitz. I work for Syracuse University. I am based in the Los Angeles area. So again, this is regional representatives tonight. So Syracuse is a residential campus. We have about 15,000 undergraduate students. You are required to live on campus your first 2 years. And our campus is located just outside of downtown Syracuse. So where is Syracuse? We are actually right in the middle of New York State. We're about 5 hours north of New York City and about 5 hours west of Boston. We do have an airport about 20 minutes from campus. So from California, you can actually fly into any of the major Midwest cities, major East Coast cities, the southern cities, even as far west as Denver. Those cities all have direct flights into Syracuse. So from California, you can get to Syracuse with one connection, and then land in Syracuse, 20 minutes, you're in your dorm room. Syracuse has over 200 majors and 100 minors divided up into 10 different colleges. Now, I mentioned that we have 15,000 undergraduate students, but because we divide into these different colleges, when you're in your classroom space, you're going to have a much smaller school experience. Our average class size is 26. We have a student to teacher ratio of 16:1. All students, no matter what their major, are required to take some classes in the College of Arts and Sciences as their general ed requirements. What this does is it allows a flexibility of curriculum so that students can actually apply to Syracuse undecided. You can change your major once you get to campus. You can pick up a double major or a minor. And you can also study in 2 different colleges. So we have a very interdisciplinary and a very flexible program. We are a Tier 1 research institute, so we do encourage our students at the undergraduate level to get involved in research. We have all sorts of student startup, like Shark Tank type of organizations on campus where students are able to work on business plans, work on inventions, and we have real investors coming in to help students get their startups going. We also have a top 10 study abroad program. So we have 5 of our own programs, and then we partner with local universities in over 60 countries. So in all, we have over 100 programs. At least half of our students study abroad at some point during their 4 years at Syracuse, and you can start as early as your freshman year all the way up to senior year, depending on what you're studying. We have summer programs, we have semester programs, and we have short-term programs. So there's something for everybody, and we really, really encourage our students to study abroad, and we add extra scholarships and grants to help them make that affordable. Syracuse students come from all 50 states and from over 170 countries. California students make up our 5th biggest population on campus, and California alumni are second only to New York State. We have over 300 clubs and organizations, beginning with D1 sports, club and intramural sports, community service, performance, all sorts of student government, professional organizations. So there's really, really something for everybody to get involved in on campus. We have a health and wellness center called the Barnes Center, which has the health center on the ground floor, counseling center on the top floor, and then 4 stories of athletic equipment, including an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a 5-story rock climbing wall. We really look at student health and wellness holistically. And so that's all centered there at the Barnes Center. And then our Shine Student Center is our newly renovated center where we have our food court, we have our bookstore, and we have all sorts of space for students to get together, meet each other, study together. And that's also the home of our new intercultural collective. So all of our cultural organizations are housed there as well. So as far as the nuts and bolts, we are a Common App school. We have early decision, which is November 15th. Regular decision is January 1st. We do a holistic review, which means we look at your application from cover to cover. This year, we were test optional. We'll also be test optional for 2022. Beyond that, we're not sure yet. But for 2022, if you're a junior, know that we will be test optional. We do offer personal interviews. We highly encourage those, and we can do those virtually, and hopefully we'll be able to get to do some in person this year as well. And we also have a commitment to affordability. So when you apply to Syracuse, you're automatically considered for a merit scholarship, and those go anywhere from $10,000 to full tuition. And then we also have a robust financial aid program, and that can be stackable on top of the merit. We are a Raise Me school, which is a micro scholarship program for high school students, and we're also a yellow ribbon school. So if you come from a military family, that's something that you might want to check out. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Syracuse, I encourage you to get in touch with me directly. I'll put some things in the chat, some different links, and I really look forward to hearing from you. And now I will stop sharing and hand it over to Salve Regina. Thank you.
Camille, thanks so much to you and Syracuse University. Audience, don't forget, you can put those questions in the Q&A anytime. And next up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Salve Regina University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Albanese with Salve Regina University. If you're wondering what our name means, it's Latin for Hail, Holy Queen. And it's part of a Catholic prayer that the Sisters of Mercy who founded us were very fond of. The sisters have given us so many things over the years, but something that I really appreciate is our mission statement. And the very first line that these nuns and our board of trustees sat down together in a room and wrote is, as a community that welcomes people of all beliefs. So I think right off the bat, that shows that we value inclusivity and being really embracing the liberal arts at Salve Regina. The last line of our mission statement is we work for a world that is harmonious, just, and merciful. So by the time that our students graduate, they have a sense of confidence that they can affect the world around them in a positive way. The Sisters of Mercy are a network of over 16 colleges and universities and dozens of high schools and orders around the US and internationally. And 5 of their critical concerns are earth, immigration, nonviolence, racism, and women. So they feel like those are some of the greatest ills of society. And when you graduate from Salve, you will also feel like you have a deeper understanding of these topics. And again, some thoughts on how you can make an impact in those areas when you graduate. We're a small university. We have about 2,100 undergraduate students, but we have over 60 majors. Some of the popular ones include really any form of business, chemistry, biology, administration of justice. Sometimes that's called criminal justice. Many of the programs I just mentioned have a 5th or 6th year graduate program, depending on the type of program. And then Salve also has some unique programs. We have a major called Cultural and Historic Preservation, where students study the built environment. They learn how to preserve, protect, advocate for historic objects, buildings, and even entire neighborhoods. We have a Bachelor of Arts in Dance. And we're very well known for our direct entry nursing major, but it's a pretty unique program because we actually guarantee the clinicals. So not only is it direct entry, meaning that you will start taking your nursing courses on day one, but you'll finish in 4 years. That's guaranteed because we guarantee those clinical opportunities to get training in the area. Salve is located in one of the best kept historic districts in New England, the Bellevue Avenue Historic District, sometimes called the Mansion District of Newport, Rhode Island. So we're on an island in Rhode Island, but there's lots of bridges. It's easy to get on and off. We're about an hour and a half from Boston Logan International Airport that has flights all over the country, direct flights to California. And we're about 25 minutes away from our local airport near our capital, Providence, TF Green, and that has one layover for many of the airports in California. Rhode Island, even though it's the smallest state in the country, is the second most densely populated. So there's 9 other colleges, there's lots of people around, but being on the island, you do kind of feel like you're all in it together. We are in this amazing historic community dating back to the 1600s with cobblestone streets and all of these wharfs going onto the water. We're one of the sailing capitals of the world. We're one of the top 10 surf colleges in the country because of our location, and we have an open campus, so it's really easy to get around the area and explore. But there's so much to do on campus. We have 20 Division III varsity sports. We're well known for our sailing team, as well as men and women's ice hockey. We have a number of club sports like martial arts, rugby. They've been national champions a few times in the past decade. We have over 60 student-led organizations. We have the Pell Center for International Relations and Public Policy. It's a think tank that was formed by an act of Congress, and we bring in speakers from all over the world. So in the past several years, we've had Dr. Cornel West come to campus, Dr. Jill Biden, Senator John Kerry. And really being able to interact with these thought leaders on campus is a wonderful benefit of the center. There's always activities going on, and all of our students participate in community service. In terms of admissions, most students have between a B+ and an A- GPA. A quarter of our students have a 4.0, and many of them are part of our nursing program or our academic honors program. And then a quarter of our students have below a 3.2. So I really appreciate that we admit a wide range of students. We have a very rigorous academic environment, but I think it helps us to be a much more collaborative than competitive kind of vibe and feel. We are a member of the Common Application, so it's simple to apply. We waive the fee for out-of-state students, so feel free to just reach out to me. And we're fully test optional for all programs, including nursing, and you're not at any disadvantage if you don't submit the test scores. You can apply to Salve in the fall, the winter, or the spring. We have early decision, which is binding, but then all of our other options, early action 1, early action 2, and regular decision are not binding. In terms of scholarships, most of our students do receive some kind of scholarship, especially from California. They range from $12,000 to $25,000. They're renewable every year. You don't have to do anything to apply for them. And they're not only based on your grades, they're based on the entire holistic review of your application. We also have need-based aid, and we're able to give out over $40 million a year in financial aid. So we work hard to make Salve affordable for our families. We have a number of events coming up. We actually have limited on-campus tours, and Salve was actually ranked as one of the top 10 colleges in the country for our response to the pandemic and being able to remain open in a safe way. But we also have a number of virtual workshops, college-going activities, and things like that. And our open house is online, and it's coming up this Sunday, so check out salve.edu/visit. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over to our next speaker.
Nick, thanks so much to you and Salve Regina University. Wow, I hope you guys are having fun learning about all these great institutions, and we still have several to go. Next up, I'd like to introduce Bucknell University. Take it away, Jenny, whenever you're ready. And I think you're on mute still. There you go. Now you're off.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hi. Okay, sorry. I had a mini crash. Is my screen still sharing?
It sure is.
Okay, I'm gonna go with it because it's not showing on my screen. But okay, sorry about that. Let's start. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Kim. I am the regional counselor for Bucknell University, located in the beautiful central Pennsylvania town called Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We are a quintessential college town, a small population by category. We are rural. However, we are about 2.5 hours to 4 hours away from New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. So students that choose Bucknell University are very intentional about wanting to be in a community-based campus and building relationship with professors. At Bucknell, we are a liberal arts institution. We have 3 colleges, which is one of our biggest, I think it's what draws most students to say, I am really interested in philosophy. However, I want to take a dance class and I want to be in the pre-health track because I am interested in perhaps medical school. So Bucknell has 3 colleges: the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Engineering, and the Freeman College of Management. So with Bucknell's rich history of over 170 years, there's been many groundbreaking breakthroughs by our professors, but not just our professors, but also by our students, because we have a commitment to innovation, exploration, and research. So within the College of Arts and Sciences, we have close to 50 majors and 70 minors, and it's about 65% of our student population. So it is the largest population on our campus. And we have, in our College of Engineering, there is about 20%, and there's 7 majors within the College of Engineering. We have biomedical engineering, mechanical, civil, environmental, and the list goes on, as well as the 5-year dual degree where you can graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, as well as a Bachelor of Arts in either another major that you choose or within management. And our last college, our Freeman College of Management, it's our smallest, but not by, I'm sorry, oops. It's our smallest. However, it is our fastest growing college. It is our only college that requires a direct entry, so our students cannot transfer majors once they get to Bucknell. However, there are 7 majors within the College of Management. It is our business program, but we don't call it business because we understand that business is more than just what people typically think of business, but it's about managing people. It's about managing, what does advertising mean? What's marketing? So it's the bigger field and the bigger world of understanding management. Our students are taking classes from across the different colleges at Bucknell. Our population is small, 3,600 undergrad student. We have anywhere between 50 to 60 graduate students, but 0 classes are taught by GAs or TAs. All classes are taught by faculty members. We have a commitment to a low faculty to student ratio because we truly believe that a well experienced or a rewarding experience of a college education is to build that relationship with professors. So we make sure that our professors, when they are hired at Bucknell, they understand that their priority are undergraduate students. And there's been many stories. I even actually graduated from Bucknell, and after close to 20 years, I'm still in touch with my professor after all the years. So I think that's a testament to say that the relationship is really long lasting. Here are just some statistics. We are test optional. We've been test optional for 2 years, and we will be test optional for the next 3 years. However, the only group that this is an exception to are our athletes. We are Division I school. We have 27 sports, and we are part of the Patriot League. And the Patriot League was modeled after the Ivy League. So they are very, very, very much kind of on wanting testing. However, in this past year, the presidents of the Patriot Leagues got together and was able to get the league to waive testing for this past year. And we're crossing our fingers that will kind of be, will happen again for this coming year as well. But as of now, that's the only group at Bucknell that we require testing for. However, everyone else, we do not require testing. We are holistic at Bucknell. We do read by community-based evaluation. So there's always 2 readers reading your application. At any given time, your application at Bucknell will be read at least 3 times, which I think says a lot about how much we want to support and advocate for students. At Bucknell, we have over 200 organizations that you can get involved with. Given our location, students might ask, well, is there anything to do? Is it really boring? Is it in the middle of nowhere? It's not true. We have shuttles, we have bus trips to the major cities, and there are students who love to go hiking, canoeing, paddleboarding, biking, caving, rock climbing in our surrounding area. So there's plenty to do. And because our campus is residential, and more than 92% of our students live on campus, there's constantly activities, concerts. Even during the past year of the pandemic, the majority of our students have been on campus, and we've been able to hold different events for students, whether it's cake wars and creating little packages for students to create, and everyone going on Zoom, or being in a huge open tent and everyone kind of displaying their cake or their cookie or whatever they made after they took it to their room and brought it back. It's been really neat to see a community come together to keep our campus safe during this past year. And we know that in this coming year that we're hoping to normalize a lot more things as well. Also, when it comes to the application, we work with two deadlines, early decision and regular decision for us. We don't have early actions. We don't require interviews. So it's rather simple to apply to Bucknell. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. And we'll put more information in the chat.
Jenny, thank you so much to you and Bucknell University. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Dickinson College. Take it away, Phil, whenever you're ready.
Yes, that would be me. Hello, everyone. Thanks for hanging in there. My name is Phil Moreno. I am the Director of West Coast Recruitment for Dickinson College, that we'll learn is a small little college on the West Coast. But I know the pandemic continues to throw all norms out the window. So I want to tell you now that we on the college side get it. We're here for you whenever you need us in the process. And I, in particular, being the fact that I'm based just in Long Beach, California, here on the West Coast, really encourage you to connect with me when you want. And perhaps you'll have a little bit more incentive after learning more about a college that I've worked for about 6 years now. And I think one of the things that you should know, that if you are even thinking about going out of state, you're in very rare company. You're exceptional in many ways. And that's because when you look at national data, 80% of students actually go only within 3 hours of home. It's very rare that students are willing to go very far beyond that 3 hour kind of window. But what's kind of neat about the folks from the West Coast that go to Dickinson in central Pennsylvania, that they're among only 2% of students who will do so in the country, in the sense of going more than 1,500 miles away from home, like you would do to many of the places here presenting. So I want to say congratulations for thinking outside that box that so many of your peers tend to do. And perhaps learning a little bit more about Dickinson, a college that was really started from the very beginning with intentionality, will make that a little easier to do, because we want to connect with you throughout this process. But if you're thinking about what is Dickinson College in the first place, well, it's a liberal arts college. And here on the West Coast, we actually don't have quite many of them like we do on the East Coast. And the liberal arts college is about flexibility. It's about the opportunity to really understand an academic subject from a 360-degree view. And when you look at Dickinson's intentionality within liberal arts, and out here, liberal arts colleges are places like Pomona College, Occidental College, Santa Clara is Loyola Marymount. They tend to have the same kind of flexible curriculum. But when you look at our numbers, small class sizes, small faculty student ratios, then we started to look like some of our peers. But what I want to tell you is that from the very beginning, Dickinson has been about engagement. In fact, our founders really were thinking about college in a new perspective, in the fact that they wanted to educate our students to not only learn what they learn, but then go back to their communities and give back so that democracy would thrive. So we've been doing that since 1783. Over the years, Dickinson ends up being a leader in sustainability, a leader in global education, which we'll learn a little bit more about. But what I want to tell you is that Dickinson's community is really what I think sets it apart. And in fact, this building here, Old West, is iconic in the life of a Dickinsonian. Students will actually march up those brownstone steps if there's not a global pandemic, sign into the college, and 4 years later, sign out of the college beyond the limestone, beyond those steps into the real world. But what I think is really neat about this building is that on top of this building, in the cupola, they call it, is a mermaid. which is actually a happy accident, because when the designer and the architect left central Pennsylvania back in 1789, he said that what should be on top of this building is a Triton. But the local blacksmith had no idea what a Triton was. The only thing he knew about the sea was the fact that there was mermaids. And so the mermaid has been embraced by our students as the unofficial mascot for about 200 years. And their flexibility of that curriculum, where I like to say we're East Coast academics with a West Coast community, means a very collegial place for our students to engage in many different types of activities, from mock trial to Division III sports and the Centennial Conference to themed housing. This is a place that has a ton of traditions that you as a Dickinsonian would embrace yourself, because it has been about tradition since our very beginning. But we do it in a very unique setting to Southern California, in the sense that there really is nothing like Carlisle, Pennsylvania here on the West Coast. Even some of the smaller college towns in the California are not similar to Carlisle. Carlisle was intentionally 2 days horse ride from Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. when we were founded. Now it's about 2 hours drive. Students fly into Baltimore, Philadelphia, or even Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C., and then make their way to our beautiful campus. And what they end up finding is this incredible space where students are actually able to kind of get at seasons. That's one of the benefits of going to the East Coast. You have an opportunity to, experience a different part of the world with other students who are doing it too, because 75% of our students actually come from outside of the state of Pennsylvania. In fact, we have about 25 to 30 students every year from California alone, in addition to 50 states that are represented in our student body. And what's kind of neat about Dickinson too is we are embedded in the little town of Carlisle, the small town of 20,000 folks. Actually, this is taken from above where we just were, but you can see literally across the street is Carlisle, Pennsylvania. In fact, Carlisle was one of the first places that many of the colonists really traveled through to get into the West. So we were founded in 1783, but Carlisle was founded in 1751. And we've been able to kind of have that relationship, that partnership throughout that entire time, so that you really do feel like Carlisle and Dickinson is your home away from home. In terms of majors, we have about 46. We're proud to have just introduced a new data analytics major. But really, you can see here that there's a ton of opportunities for students. And what's nice about that is that 75% of our students don't have to declare their major until sophomore year. And every major that we have at Dickinson is going to be infused with a global education, a global context. We were the first college in the country to offer something other than Latin and Greek. We now offer 13 languages. And then we're one of the few colleges in the country that has actually committed itself and reached carbon neutrality last year. In fact, we have a sustainability requirement, but that one requirement, students can choose from 100 different courses that come from 40 of our 46 majors. So lots more to learn. I'll throw in some more information in our chat. And I thank you again for being here, and throw it back to you, Courtney, to introduce Tommy.
Bill, thank you so much to you and Dickinson College. Great presentation. Our final presentation tonight will be from the University of Missouri. Take it away, Tommy, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tommy Rogers. I am the regional representative for the University of Missouri. I'm based out here in Orange County. And I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit today about the University of Missouri and why so many students from the West Coast are attending our school. So first and foremost, University of Missouri, located in beautiful Columbia, Missouri, literally smack right dab in the middle of the United States, right in the middle of Missouri, about halfway between Kansas City and St. Louis. We are a college town. We got about 120,000 people that reside in Columbia. We're not a commuter campus or a commuter city. We've got people Monday through Sunday staying, all sorts of different entertainers, guest speakers. We're really a destination for a lot of those different kinds of folks. Pre-COVID, Sports Illustrated magazine actually did a spread on us. They went to over 100 different college cities and campuses, and they ranked us number 5, which was a really cool thing to do. I want to echo what Phil said. Love the weather out here in California, but it's a little bit dull. To experience all the seasons is a thing that I miss the most. It's truly nice, especially right now. It's springtime. There's a lot of beautiful showers going on in Columbia. So I miss that a lot. Mizzou, we're a large school. We've got about 30,000 people. That's our total population. Undergraduate, though, it's going to be about 19 to 20,000 students. But surprisingly, average class size just under 30 students, 18 to 1 student to faculty ratio. We have a lot of resources to make sure that students feel that they're getting individualized attention at a large tier 1 research institution. And we're also the land grant. We're really unique that we are the land grant for the state of Missouri. We're also tier 1 research. So we have a lot of really cool opportunities for our students to really hit the ground running within their major, really starting their freshman year. Real quick, we are continuing test optional for our students. In lieu of sending in a test score, you can go ahead and send us in a statement of purpose, send us a resume, and then your transcripts will be evaluated based on that. No disadvantage, you're still going to qualify for our scholarships, including in-state tuition if you qualify for that. You can still also be directly admitted to your major, and you can still be a part of the Honors College. So that's a pretty cool thing. What we're known for is we have a wide variety of different types of majors on our campus, over 300, which to me is very overwhelming. I could probably only name maybe about half. What we're really well known for, though, is our journalism program. We have a lot of students coming in for that. Business is a close second. That comes with a guaranteed internship. We're also a unique school, one of 9 public universities that has a pre-law, pre-med, and pre-vet programs on our campus. We have a lot of students coming for that. Engineering and nursing then round out our 3rd and 4th most popular majors. But what's most important, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is we're tier 1. We want you to start doing stuff outside of the classroom, really as early as your freshman year. And we have a wide variety of different resources that our students can utilize really right off the bat. For example, our journalism students have access to our NBC station. We're the only school in the nation that has an NBC Universal affiliate on our campus, KOMU, completely run by our students, which is a pretty cool thing. I mentioned earlier that business students are guaranteed that internship. Pre-med students, pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, we have hospitals on our campus. We can get you in there your freshman year, start shadowing and figuring out what you want to do, maybe what you don't want to do as well. It's a very diverse area. Education students, we're going to get you in the classroom as early as your sophomore year to start working with your intended audience, etc. Engineering students, research, all sorts of fun things that you can do on our campus. A lot of these will actually lead into full-time job opportunities as well, which is a really cool and exciting opportunity for our students. With our curriculum, with our research that our students are doing in internships, we're very excited and pleased with our job placement rating, especially last year with COVID. We really didn't know what that was going to look like. But last year, 93.4% of our seniors were either fully employed, attending graduate school, or serving in the military, with the biggest anchor obviously being employment. So super excited about that. A lot of recruitment opportunities for our students too within the college, which is really exciting. That sometimes pays for a lot of amenities that students can do on our campus. And then our retention rating was about 90%. So we retained about 90% of our freshmen last year. Hinted about it a little bit earlier. We've got some great scholarships for our students. We're rolling admissions. So typically our application will open on August 1st of this year. You can apply whenever you want to, but we want you to qualify for the maximum amount of scholarships. So definitely make sure you get your application in by December 1st. We do have merit-based scholarships, especially for out-of-state students. I know out-of-state tuition can sometimes be a little bit scary, but I can speak for myself and a lot of other out-of-state schools that there's a lot of different scholarship opportunities for you. We do offer in-state tuition based off of your test score or GPA. It's about an $18,000 scholarship per year. You can get that your freshman year all the way until you graduate and be considered an in-state student. And then we also have a lot of wonderful alumni scholarships too, based in California, which is great. So we have those merit-based scholarships. We have major scholarships dependent on your major. And then if you don't get any scholarships, we do offer a 12 months residency process. Starting your freshman year to your sophomore year, you can still get in-state tuition by going through our residency process. To wrap up, we are open for business right now. We're going to continue to have visitors on our campus as long as it's safe. So come and visit us either online or in person. And you can obviously utilize myself as a resource as well. I can get you connected with current students in your major from your hometown or your area, or faculty members as well. Contact information is on the screen right here. Feel free to reach out to me. And I believe that's it. We made it through all the presenters, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Courtney, who is going to wrap us up.
Thanks so much, Tommy, to you and the University of Missouri. Wow, that went fast. It was fun, but I also want to make sure that you guys have one more chance to hear from each of the institutions. They've turned on their cameras and they are going to share one of their favorite events or traditions on campus, or a fun and interesting fact. So we'll go in round robin order in the same order that you presented originally. So Syracuse University up first.
Okay, so you told me I could also give a fun fact, correct? Okay, so
Yes.
my fun fact for Syracuse is that we are the only university in the United States that has a fruit as a mascot. Our fruit is Otto the orange, and we are orange. So we always say once orange, always orange. And we also say that we bleed orange. So we have a really strong alumni association, and people will stay orange even after their 4 years at Syracuse.
Yeah, and at Salve, I'll give a fun fact too. So most people think about, colleges for surfing in California or Hawaii, but Salve Regina is actually located right on the ocean. We're within walking distance of 3 beaches. So we're truly a place where you can surf in the morning and go to class in the afternoon. And we've consistently been ranked by a couple of magazines as a top 10 surf college.
So I think for me, a tradition, because Bucknell really is big on traditions and creating traditions for our students to remember for a lifetime, is that the ceremony, it's called candle lighting ceremony, the first few days that you are on campus. And it's this, the whole incoming class, you all stand around in our beautiful quad with, the president and different faculty. And it's to mark kind of that welcome into the community, to be part of the community. And 4 years later, you do that same tradition after you walk through campus all together, your whole, 900 of your best friends, right, graduating with you, and you gather back a few days before graduation and you do the whole candle lighting ceremony where every single person has a candle, and you just kind of reminisce and you think about kind of what it means to now leave this community and go into this adult world that you've kind of prepared for, that, yes. So to me, I think it's personal just because I am an alumnus. So I always talk about it with my friends and my best friends from freshman year and what that meant. But that's a tradition that I think is really treasured among our graduates.
Nice. I think I mentioned a few in the presentation, the walking up the stairs, the mermaid, signing into the college. But I think one of my favorite events every year is the bike to the farm, but actually then becomes the bike to kayak to farm. So Dickinson has a college farm about 6 miles away from campus. And one of the ways that we can get there, aside from biking, is because of this lush area of central Pennsylvania, you get on a bike, you hop on over to one of the runs that is nearby, and then you end up on our 180-acre farm and met by our farm dog called Bella. So I've always wanted to be on campus for that. Because I'm regional, I'm not, and the pandemic has prevented it. But I mark my word, one of these days, I'm going to have an opportunity to bike, to kayak, to farm, even if I have to belly flop all the way over there.
That sounds awesome. Hearing all these traditions is always such a cool thing. So one of my favorite ones, it's actually one of the first things that students do on our campus. It's called Tiger Walk. And what they do is in our quad area, we have about 6 columns, and students will go from the downtown facing area towards the columns. And our marching band is there. Bears would be really frightening if they were there. So no bears. Marching band is there playing music. You learn about our fight songs. Our mascots there, some football players as well. And then as you go through the columns, we have what's called Tiger Stripe ice cream. It's made on our campus. It's like a French vanilla with the chocolate haze to it. It's absolutely wonderful. I miss being on campus for that event because sometimes we would get some as well. So it's a really, really fun event. But bears would make it.
Oh my goodness, so fun to hear all these traditions. And since we have just a couple more minutes, I am going to ask these experts to share just a little bit more great information with you. So what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? Remember, most of these students are going to be juniors, sophomores. We may have seniors, but probably mostly juniors and sophomores. So we'll go in the same order that you presented, again with Syracuse up first.
I think my best advice to you is to not be shy about reaching out to your college counselors. All the people here tonight, anybody that you meet in a school visit or at a college fair, we are here for you. We want to help you through the college process. And so, we're the ones that you can ask about anything that has to do with the college process, about the applications, about test scores, about interviews, about the essays, all of those different things. So just really take advantage of, especially you guys are all in California, and because we're all out of state colleges, but we're all based here, you really have this huge advantage of meeting all of these other college reps, not just from California schools. And so I take advantage of the fact that we're all here and ready to talk to you.
Great advice, Camille. I would add, take this as an opportunity to get to know yourself a little bit. So much in your life as a high school student has kind of been prescribed for you. And this is really an opportunity to think about, what do you want out of your college experience and your future? So hopefully have a little bit of fun with the process. It's a chance to kind of think about what are your values and what are your priorities, and really take the time to do that, especially earlier on in high school, so that when you get to senior year and you're actually building that college list, you'll have a little bit more of a direction as to what kinds of schools you want to put on your list.
I think, like Camille talked about, I want to talk about the college counselor at your school. I think they are a tremendous resource. And the earlier you build that relationship with them, they are a wealth of information, because we are talking to them about our institutions too. And they've talked to so many students like you who've been going through the process. So I would say start early and build that relationship with your college counselor, career counselor, whoever it may be, and just say, like, this is where I'm at, because maybe a four-year college is not for you. Maybe, you just don't know, but talk it out with them, because they're there to support you. And as much as we are all from wonderful institutions, we also want you to be happy where you go, and not just say, we're not here to just sell an institution. So I think, like you said, it's the whole process of nixing, finding yourself, but building that relationship with your college counselor at your high school will be a tremendous support and a resource for you.
Wow, they took all of the good ideas. So I like chocolate chip cookies, and so do a lot of admissions offices, especially around reading season. No, I kid. As you can imagine, we all work together normally, so we have fun. But I think my piece of advice is also more about me. I'm a procrastinator. And you can't be a procrastinator in this process. The idea that this is an admissions process, I really like to consider a rite of passage. For those of you who have the opportunity to even be considering college, you really want to do all of the work. You want to attend sessions like this. You want to follow up. You want to do that self-reflection. You want to use your resources wisely, right? And you want to hit those benchmarks. Because the number one reason that students say they pick a college is because it just felt right. But mark my word, you can't just feel right the day before you submit an app, the day before May 1. You really have to do that work intentionally, and it will pay off in the end. Because mark my words, when you decide you're going to Dickinson, Mizzou, Salve, Regina, Bucknell, or Syracuse, if you did it right, you'll say it because it just felt right.
Well, I like that. And really to kind of piggyback off of what Phil had mentioned, after doing all this work and process, it's really stressful, and we understand, and we've all been through the process, but be proud of your decision and be excited too. I attended a community college. I've attended a public, a private. I took summer schools at UCs. All those schools were awesome. So no matter where you're going to go, like Phil said, if you do the research, you put the time and effort into it, you're going to have a wonderful time. And I think that's why all of us are in this position, as we know how much fun you're going to have when you go off to college. So do the homework, be proud of what you're doing, and ask us questions so that we can better help you make that decision.
See, I told you guys they had some excellent advice, and I hope that you really took to heart what they said. This process can be so fun, and so please take advantage of that and of these wonderful professionals that you see on your screen to answer all of your questions. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As you close out, there's going to be a quick 4-question survey, so we hope that you'll provide us with some feedback. And the recording of this session, along with all the other sessions that happened tonight, will be at strivescan.com/RACC within 1 week. Best wishes, everyone, in your college search process. Have a good one. Bye-bye.